Hi, my name is Dr. Ray Pastor, and today I'm going to talk about how much instructional designers make. Specifically, how much can you bill out clients? What is the average hourly rate that we bill out in our field? So I'm going to first go through some key statistics to help you, to show you how I got to the numbers that I have at the bottom of my screen here. So I'm going to start out by going through some stats. So first, e-learning guild reports in their annual survey that instructional designers make around $78,000 a year. 78,000 a year. That's average instructional design salary. That doesn't include instructional designers that have moved on to management positions and they're project managers and they're vice presidents of companies or CEOs or whatever. Average instructional design salary 78,000. All right, so we figure out what the hourly rate of that is. We get $36 an hour. But really, when you are making $78,000 a year at a company, your company's paying around $100, maybe $110,000 for you because they're paying for your benefits, they're paying for training. So we have to include that in that number because as a contractor, you're paying that for yourself. All right, so we get closer to, we add 30%, we actually get $47 an hour. However, when you have to include the idea that contract work is not guaranteed, we want to up that maybe another 10 to 15, 20%. So we come up with this number around $55 to $60 an hour is more the average instructional design salary. In general, overall, $60 an hour. That's not varied by task, not varied by experience, just in general, the average. All right, so we also have some other statistics. eLearning.net reports that instructional designers typically charge anywhere from $20 to $90 an hour. This varies based on task, quality, and speed. They also report that there are many foreign outsourcing companies that charge $20 an hour. However, they also report that those companies purposely take longer on tasks so that they can charge more money, so they can charge closer to the average. So you're not really going to be, their report concluded that you're not really going to be making money if you outsource. Additionally, it's very difficult to outsource in our field, a whole nother topic, but due to the language barrier, we have to work with, you're either working with a SME or you're working with heavy content in our field. You need to be able to translate extremely well because I have to understand the content and actually break it up so that I can design. Very difficult task if it's your second language. So outsourcing in our field is very uncommon. It's not an easy task. Huge quality difference. So it's not something instructional designers typically have to worry about. All right, so finally, eLearn magazine tells that we should not be charging an average standard hourly rate. In general, we should be charging by task. So, and I completely agree with this. And when I do consulting with companies, I actually bill out by task. I don't bill out by project. And I'm at the point in my career where I don't take on full projects. I usually only work on specific pieces. So I bill out based on what they want me to actually do. So let me go through and let's talk about some of these averages. And I've come up with these average based on difficulty of the task and how, what you're getting based on quality. All right. So the first part, business strategy, proposals, needs analysis, needs assessment. Anywhere from 100 to 250 plus dollars an hour. Why? This is the hard part. You're not outsourcing this. You're not getting someone with 2 or 3 years of work experience for this task. You're not. You can't do it. They can't they're not going to be able to give you business strategy. They're going to have a tough time working on proposals. You need someone who's established with good experience because this is the kind of stuff that's going to make or break projects or determine if you even get the project. You have to hire the best. So you're going to pay top dollar for this task. Simple design. So next we get into design because the analysis is where the project can fail or not. So that's one of the hardest pieces, which is why you charge the most. Next we get into design. So simple design, like if I'm designing for PowerPoint, I'm designing an instructor-led course, I'm designing a Articulate or Captivate piece, anything that's very simple to develop, which is going to also be simple to design or easier to design, you're going to be able to charge anywhere, that average of $60 an hour to $100 an hour. Keep in mind, design is the key to instructional design after analysis. If you don't have a good designer, your product is not going to turn out well. Even though you've done a good analysis and have the best programmer in the world, if you don't design it well, it's not going to be good. So you have to pay someone to design. You don't want quality to suffer there. Don't go to the bottom of the barrel on design. That's not where you do it. Next, we have advanced design. And now you're talking about an experienced instructional designer, where they're going to be designing some kind of game or simulation. Advanced design, you have to pay more money, 75 to 150 an hour, easily. Development. All right, now development is the easy part of the field, especially if you're talking about a developer developing an Articulate or Captivate or one of these authoring tools. This is where you're going to be able to pay someone 35 or 40 to $50 an hour, because the development in these tools is simple. It's really easy to do. You don't need to have the skilled person to do that part. You need the skilled person to do the other pieces. So if you're paying someone to do a whole entire project, even though this part is the easy part for them, you're paying them more money because they may have to do this analysis and design. So it's that development. The easy, simple development is where you can charge less money. The next thing, if you're doing advanced development, now obviously you're going to pay more money. You need a good graphic artist. You need someone with programming skills. You're going to pay more money. You're going to pay closer to 60 to 125 an hour for that. All right, finally, implementation. These are the people doing rolling out the communication, making sure the change process is going well. You're closer to $50 an hour. And then finally, the evaluation piece, doing an actual formal evaluation of a program, product, company, whatever it is. This is where you're paying someone for experience. So this is where you don't want that entry-level instructional designer working. You want someone who is going to be able to actually evaluate well and come up with good recommendations. This is where, again, you're paying as much as you did in that beginning. This is the second hardest part. 75 to 250 an hour plus, and it can go up from there. You can be paying people up to $500 an hour if they're really good. And that's basically, so in general, you can come up and look at, what if I'm doing a project from start to finish and I'm doing everything? Well, you have to figure out where that person is. How much experience do they have? Quality does matter in our field significantly. Someone with 1 year experience will not do the same quality of work as someone with 20 years. I mean, in general, obviously there's extreme cases on both ends, but on average, experience really can matter in our field. How much knowledge do they have? How good are they? That stuff really makes a difference. There's a huge level of quality in our field. When you hear, oh, this training was terrible, or all the training we go through is really boring, yeah, because you didn't pay for quality. That happens. So quality makes a huge difference. Or the training didn't solve our problem. Why not? Because you didn't pay someone to do a good analysis. We didn't know. Training wasn't the issue. You have to pay someone well, get someone with experience, so that you actually get things done correctly. And that's it. Thank you.